What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, shares, donations. Your support really does warm my heart, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be a monthly check-in. You know, we've built up your business, we've self-growth, we've loved, and now we're just seeing where you're at after that whole whirlwind, Cancer. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems are feeling lovely, just good vibrations all around. Now with this spread, I'm going to be pulling 9 cards, and I'll be doing clarifications as need be, and of course a good old surprise card at the end, Cancer, so don't you panic. And in case y'all were curious, I'm using the Tarot of the Divine deck, and I have a link for this deck and other decks that I like using down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But let's jump into your first card here, which is going to represent your current self. So, higher self, what's Cancer looking like currently on their monthly check-in? Let's see what you've been up to, Cancer. Let's see what the energies. Let's see what energy you're bringing here. Yeah, okay. Oh, Cancer, interesting. We got the Justice in reverse here. And so, on a base level, you know, this is a Libra's card here. And I feel like some of us, you know, we're feeling a little out of whack here. You know, I'm not sure if it's like if we're like maybe we're like a little confused about maybe where we're trying to channel our energy, you know, as far as like maybe if we're thinking about a business, you know, maybe what direction we want to take. And I really, you know what, I feel like it doesn't even matter what the thing is. I just feel like, you know, there's this uncertainty, you know, maybe there's something here that just doesn't quite feel right, you know. Maybe for some others, you know, the Justice card can also have to deal with any kind of like legal stuff, you know, maybe maybe like court dates, marriages, divorces, things of that nature. So maybe for some of us, you know, we might be waiting on like a verdict for some things, you know, there may be some legal stuff going on here. But let's get a little bit more on that, Cancer. That's an interesting start there. Higher self, can we clarify the Justice card, please? Now let's get a little bit more on that, Cancer. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah? Okay. Oh, interesting, Cancer. You got the Star card in reverse, the 8 of Cups upright, and the Page of Wands upright. And so I feel like maybe for some of us, you know, where we've been feeling like a lack of hope, you know, maybe there's been something's really thrown us off here. And I feel like in order for us to get to this balance, you know, whatever this is that's just thrown you for a loop here, you know, it's time to maybe evaluate that thing and see if we can let some things go, you know, so that I feel like once you start addressing these imbalances here, then your manifestation and all these things that you're trying to get done are going to be able to start getting back in action here, because ultimately this is where we're trying to, you know, you got the Page of Wands here, and I feel like there's the potential here, but you know, we got to deal whatever this is, you know. 8 of Cups is about letting things go, you know. It's things that are no longer serving us a purpose here, you know, Cancer. It's all about change, and if there's something that's no longer, you know, resonating with you anymore, it may be some time just sit with that and kind of evaluate what that is and see if we can maybe make some changes along this thing. So yeah, I'll leave that there, you know. Let's get to your second card here, which is going to be the theme of the month. So higher self, what's the theme of the month looking like for Cancer? Let's see what the flavor of the month is for you. You know, how this month is going to be colored for you, Cancer. Hoi. Okay. Aha, I love it. You got the Hanged Man in reverse, and that's dope, Cancer, because now You know, when I think about the Hanged Man, you know, when we get in, if we're in the place of like imbalance right now, you know, if we're still trying to push on, you know, we're still trying to manifest, but our energies aren't lining up here. That's exactly that's like higher self's like first line of defense. It's like, you know what, Cancer, you know, I love you, but we got to put you in a hangman situation. We got to sleep in beauty this thing right now. Go take a nap and just ruminate on what you've done here, because that's sleeping beauty in this picture here, Cancer. But and you know, while I'm bringing that up, maybe for some of you, it may be time to get some rest. You know, maybe we've been working ourselves to the ground here. You know, maybe there's been a lot that's been going on here, and maybe some of you just might need to like kind of pump the brakes a little bit, or at least ease off the gas some. But for some others, you know, I feel like overall the theme is going to be enlightenment. You know, and I feel like that's going to come with rest. You know, it's going to come with you know, kind of meditating on this thing, and it's going to come with taking action. You know, it's one thing to have like an epiphany, like, oh, I see, I got the imbalance, and then we go back to doing the same thing. Then it's like, what do we learn, Cancer? And you know how you know this is a judgment-free zone here. You know, I'll hang out with you as long as you need to go through this hangman situation here. But you know, it's going to be one of those things when you're ready, Cancer. You know, start thinking about some fresh, like some new perspectives, because that's another thing that the hanged man can represent. You know, when it's upright. Oh, excuse me. Is that, you know, we need to maybe possibly, you know, bring in, just try maybe some different approaches here. You know, if we've been going at this thing the same type of way or very similar ways, let's see if we can kind of come at it from right field, you know, then maybe come at it from left field, you know, just try to switch things up a little bit, Cancer. But I feel like maybe some old ways of operating are just no longer serving you a purpose here. So just something to think about for the month. You know, this isn't something that you have to get figured out overnight too, Cancer. Don't make it seem like if you don't get this solved by the next time we do this video, you know, like it's, oh no, like it's like we're failures here. Keep in mind, even when we get to the next monthly check-in for this thing, look at where you were at when we started here, and then look at where, you know, when we get to that place, you know, check out where you're at that point. And keep in mind, Cancer, if we've been taking progress, you know, or taking steps towards this thing, however big or small, that is growth. And celebrate that along the way, because eventually that's how we get to that big win. It's when the small wins start to compound, you know, and then we get to that explosive finish. So I like the way this month is shaping up here. There's going to be some clarity that's coming out of this thing, Cancer. So don't you worry. You know, I feel like the veil, you know, we've been kind of stuck in this thing. It's a coming. Now let's get to your third card, which is going to be a key goal to pursue. So higher self, what are some goals that, or goal that maybe Cancer might need to focus on at this time? Let's see, what are some things you may need to focus on, Cancer? Absolutely. You got the Magician in reverse here, and I feel like with the Magician popping up, you know, it's time to again just kind of figure out if we can switch up how we're using our energies here, you know, because the Magician is a card of skills, adroitness, and just having really all the tools that you need. And also too, it can be a card of like it could be a card of like, you know, acquiring some extra skills here, really kind of tapping into your repertoire here and seeing, you know, yeah, just really kind of thinking outside of the box and working with higher self, and so that way you can get back to manifesting, you know, what your happiness is, you know, what your dream is. That's absolutely going to be like a focus here. You know, when I was talking about all this stuff, thinking stuff, you know, contemplating things, you got a lot of air energy here with Justice, and the Magician is Mercury, and this represents one of the things is Gemini and Virgo. But I just feel like it's, yeah, we just got some ruminating to do, because I feel like we might not be just because of this imbalance. You know, I feel like we're not getting the most out of our creative abilities here. You know, there's something that I feel like it's like stifling that. So yeah, see, Cancer, again, you know, over this month, you know, kind of play around with your abilities here. You know, see if there's some kind of way that we can just switch things up a little bit, because I feel like maybe some of us maybe been feeling like we're in a rut, you know, looking for consistency. You know, if you've checked out the Charity and Friends, you know, maybe we've been thinking about like Wheel of Fortune's been following you a lot. You know, maybe we're thinking about our destiny, you know, what that looks like for you here. So yeah, Cancer, figure out how you manifest. Figure out what tools are at your disposal here. You know, you know, I tell this to all the zodiac signs, but check your sun, moon, rising, that whole chart thing. They're if just being a Cancer isn't doing it in your sun sign, find out what your moon is. Like maybe you'll find out some ways and you know what, not maybe, you'll definitely find out some things that how you operate there. But just something to think about, Cancer. I won't tell you what to do, and I'm gonna be alongside you the whole way, Cancer. I got your back. So let's get to your fourth card here, which is going to be some obstacles maybe to overcome. So higher self, what's an obstacle that Cancer may need to overcome at this time? Let's see what are some things that are working against you here, Cancer. Oh, you got the devil here, Cancer, and you know what? I don't even feel like, because the devil normally has to deal with like vices, bad habits, overindulgence, maybe some toxic behavior, possibly toxic people, and those are things you definitely want to avoid. But I feel like it's also, the devil it covers up broader things than that, because sometimes I feel like when we get caught up in when we're in an imbalanced state, sometimes we spiral a little bit and we kind of get caught up in this loop where it's like we don't, we want to get better, but, we keep, there's like this thing of just like, maybe you're telling yourself it's just like, oh, I don't understand this manifesting, I won't get to my destiny. I won't, all the things that you won't and can't do. And, that, you know what I mean? Lowering your vibration. And that is in the devil's wheelhouse as well. That lowering your self-esteem, that doubt, that's the devil checking in to make sure that you really want this thing, and it's, the devil, it gets a bad rep, I feel like, just because it wants us to grow, but it's in a very it's just the way might not be the most desirable, but it really is. The devil's trying to bring up our weaknesses, see where we're lacking, see where we can improve. It's not just there to just put it all up in your face, Cancer. This is meant to like, hey, well, you know what? Actually, yes, it's like, Cancer, what's going on here? What do you feel about this thing? And if you're not picking up on the message, the devil will kick it with you as long as, just like how I'll kick it with you on this journey the devil will take a back seat with you too, and until we learn this thing and are ready to move on. And that's when the devil's like, once we learn that lesson, it's just like, dope, Cancer, I'm good job, I'm off to go help somebody else, and this is Capricorn energy here. This is the father of Capricorn's the father of the zodiac, and it's one thing when you're in trouble with mom, but when you got dad coming at you too, it may not be the best thing, but father has your best intentions at heart. So just something, that's something to keep in mind, Cancer, okay? But let's get to your fifth card. We've had a lot of lessons up till now. Let's get to the big win here, because that's what the fifth card is going to represent. So higher self, what are some major accomplishments here for Cancer? What's going to be what's that big one kind of big win that's kind of looking like for you this month? Let's see what's kind of coming in here, Cancer. Nice. You got the 10 of Wands in reverse here, Cancer. And so if you've been feeling like, this has been like a burden, because I'll tell you what, I'm just like really just kind of now looking before I even clarified, and even with the clarification, you got what, five major arcana cards here, Cancer. So something's cooking. I feel like every time we do this, we switch to this deck. It's like higher self is just like answer. It's victory is you're almost at the finish line here. You can get that relief. We've been feeling like maybe life has been like a burden. We can't seem to get ahead. Things have been kind of keeping us down. Whatever's been throwing you out of whack, that is coming. And something too, where when we're going through this thing, Cancer, I really do feel like, yeah, definitely rest up when we're dealing with this stuff here, because I'm not sure what degree it is, where your situation is at, but yeah, definitely take care of yourself when all this thing, because if we're running on 10 of Wands currently, that's if we keep going on that type of energy, we're gonna burn ourselves out eventually. Then we're gonna get to this place of where we get kind of bitter over time, and it's just a weird sort of evolution there, Cancer. So but this is good. I feel like that strife and maybe maybe that feeling, like that lost feeling maybe, or because I'm getting, like, each time I look at this justice card, it's just like a number of things keep popping out at me. I was picturing, I got an image of, like, maybe we're just kind of feeling like we're just like a leaf kind of blowing in the wind. It's just like we're not sure what direction we're going here. And you know what, if that's the case, Cancer, I feel like that's a good analogy to kind of, like, when I say work with the energies and just kind of relax into this thing, like when you focus on your happiness, everything just kind of falls into place. I feel like it's just that, do what you love, and then you'll feel like a leaf in the wind. It's just, you're going to navigate this, and you won't resist the flow. The leaf is not it's not like fighting the wind there. It works with the wind. So just there's relief coming here, Cancer. I feel it. Feel it in my bones here. So let's get to your next card, which is going to be what to avoid. So higher self, what are some things that Cancer may need to avoid at this time? Let's see what are some things that you may need to look out for, Cancer? Interesting. You got the Hierophant here. And I feel like with this, because the Hierophant is the divine counterpart to our ruler, the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is represented by the moon in all the decks. But the Hierophant is like that connection to higher self. The Hierophant's the bridge to the source. And I feel like some things we want to avoid is ignoring that connection. I really feel like it would benefit you, Cancer. I've been again, if you watch the Sheridan Friends, I've been talking about this for quite a bit. Working with the energies here. Connecting to the source and really feeling that out there, understanding how you, because it's going to look differently on each person here. How it resonates for me is going to be different for Paul, for Sally, for Jim, for all those. It's really about really kind of journeying within, paying attention to those little nuances of yourself. It'll start off, I feel like it may be kind of small at first, because think too, Cancer, if we've been disconnected for a while, the feeling of disharmony, it's like a muscle, it's atrophied. And so we got to work on that thing again. And that's the thing too, Cancer, if we feel like we were not able to tap into that thing, it's not that it's gone, it's just, again, it hasn't been worked out. We got to get back into practice, and then once you start feeding that thing, it's just like when you're working out. First you're lifting 10 pounds, next you're lifting 20, next thing you're lifting a car. And think big, Cancer. Don't limit yourself. And I was just like, you're like, a whole car, Justin? Yes. Absolutely, Cancer. Do not restrict your dreams here. Think big and then commit to it, because you can. The only limitations that can be set upon you are the ones that you put on yourself. No one else can limit you here. If you want to grow, you can grow. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's we're moving along here. Let's get to your seventh card here, which is going to be what to embrace. So, higher self, what is it that what are some things that Cancer can embrace at this time? Let's see what are some energies we might be able to work with, Cancer. Yeah? Okay. Okay. You got the Two of Coins here, Cancer. And I feel like with the Two of Coins, this is a card of like, it's again, working with the energies here. I feel like it's about, because the coins have to deal with resources. So, it could be, about, getting your resources in line. But I feel like the thing to embrace is just like that balance, that harmony. Because Two of Coins, more Capricorn energy. It's when you're trying to work on this thing, it's keeping that drive. I feel like between this Capricorn and this Taurus energy here, both are Capricorns are known for their hard work, just on a general level. And Taurus, Taurus for me is just like they're known for their perseverance. You got a cardinal sign and a fixed sign here. It's like I feel like it's when you decide to when you decide to make the move, to get out of this imbalanced state here, make that action and then follow through. It's because it's one thing to start it, and then we might lose steam along the way if we meet resistance. But Cancer, keep on pushing through. If you meet resistance, tweak it. We'll go left, go right. Just don't keep going against that same wall. That may be, you might have reached the end of that point there. Go around the wall. You know what I mean? Just don't just keep running into the same thing, and expecting different results. We have to work with the energies. Or we get the most benefit when we work with the energies here, Cancer. So Yeah, this just again, just something to keep in mind. I feel like that's been really kind of the common theme, at least for your readings, is really, really becoming in tune with stuff here because our ruler is the moon. The moon is very intuitive body. How she goes through the signs, shifting through the phases. It's very it can be a lot because it's constantly changing, and that could be another thing too, Cancer. Why you may be feeling this miss, because I feel like we may be a little out of sync with our energies here, because Cancer, when I think about Cancer, sure, we're cardinal signs because my sun is in Cancer. Sure, we're cardinal signs, but I feel like because of the fluctuation of the moon, and then you add this, just Cancer is just naturally really water signs in general, but Cancers are, people would say they're just so emotional. We're so emotional. It's like, we can get where it's like we're this more kind of fluid energy, and it's a lot. It may be kind of hard to find the timings with constantly trying to with our moods and stuff kind of shifting all the time. Here's what I'm trying to get at. And so I really feel like, Cancer, it would benefit you to just really kind of understand yourself, because you're working with a lot here. There's there's so much for you to work with, Cancer. So I just want you to get the most out of this thing here. So yeah, when you have some time, see if we can connect back first. What? Start with our ruler. The moon. See if we can follow the cycle. See how you feel when the moon is in each sign. That's something I've been talking about. Or at least when I've been talking about in the Chariot and Friends. It's like, hey, how are you feeling when the moon's in Scorpio? How you feeling when the moon's in Libra? How you're feeling when it's in Cancer? Pay attention to that, and I feel like you'll notice that there's a trend there. You may see some common themes. So, I tell you, two of coins is a chatty one. Let's move on to your next card here, which is going to be where you may find some support. So, higher self, where might Cancer find some support with this energy? Let's see where what energies we may need to channel to kind of get some support here. Let's see what's going on there, Cancer. Interesting. You got the Three of Coins here, Cancer. And I feel like maybe that with this popping up, the Three of Coins is a card of collaboration here. So maybe, and I don't, if you have someone maybe in your circle, your soul tribe, that's outside of your YouTube soul tribe here. If you have someone who maybe is kind of maybe a little more spiritual, maybe that embody this Hierophant energy, maybe someone who's kind of in touch, maybe kind of likes maybe just maybe a little more familiar with the spirituality and all of that. Maybe partner with some people here when you get some time, Cancer, or maybe even look to see, maybe check out some different materials, maybe even, that's, I feel like if we want to maybe understand it more, we have to be in it a little bit more, if that makes sense. It's and then not just being that, incorporating it into your world as well. It's one thing to learn all this stuff here, but if we're not practicing, then we're just kind of sitting on gold here. But let's get a little more clarification on that, Cancer. Higher self, can we clarify the Three of Coins, please? Yeah, let's see if we can get, I feel like there may be a few more nuggets in there. Interesting. Yeah, Cancer, you got the Ace of Coins, the Emperor, and the Strength all in reverse. And I really feel like we're not giving ourselves enough credit here, because these two, just like I'm thinking Strength and Emperor, that's like, with them being in reverse, I feel like maybe we don't feel like we know how, like we can rise up. And I feel like we can find some support. Wow. Is one, make sure the people that we're around are supporting us, that they're not telling you what it's one thing for people to advise, to maybe throw in their 2 cents, but if they're trying to like critique or trying to guide you or tell you what to do on your journey, those people I feel like we need to establish some boundaries with. Because I feel like if you got people that are keeping you in that low vibration state, it's going to affect all of this stuff here. You're attaining your abundance, you being able to rise up, and because this this to me is like a leader here, and I feel like right now, yeah, there's all this doubt. I'm just getting this thing of like maybe we don't understand how we can rise up to this thing, Cancer. But not. I also say not just finding in people, but I will say when you are able to, Cancer, find some ways to bring yourself up. If we tell ourselves we can't do these things, again, that's just a box that we're pigeonholing ourselves. We're keeping ourselves in this place of like, it's like you can't do this thing, but it's just like let's switch it up a little bit. It's just like, if for example, we're thinking about, maybe leveling up as far as like going into like a boss role, like manager, CEO, supervisor, a leader, spiritual leader, political leader, whatever that's looking like. I will say, I feel like a good way to work with that when we're thinking about that is not like, oh, I don't think I can do this thing, but it's just like, how does a leader look like on me? What would I want from a leader, if that's the case? For example, what would I want from a leader? What kind of qualities would I want this person to have, or to show, or to, you know what I mean, Cancer, and then go with that, and then embody that, because those are all the things. That's your inner world here. Imagine yourself in that role. How do you, sit up tall, like get into your emperor energy here. Channel that vitality here, because you have this. This is within you, Cancer. It's just believing. Not even just like people, because it's one thing, people can tell us how great we are, tell us how spectacular we are, but if we don't believe that thing, Cancer, then none of that, it's just noise. You know what I mean? It's, come journey within too, I really, not only make sure that your soul, the people around you are supporting you, just make sure you're supporting yourself as well. I'll leave that there. I feel like I got all the nuggets I can out of there. So let's get to your last card here, which is going to be some advice. So higher self, what's some advice that Cancer might need at this time? Or let's see what some encouragement we may have for Cancer with this journey here. Oh, Cancer. Cancer, you got the Queen of Cups in reverse, and I have not as flawless as a transition, but you know what? This isn't a Queen of Cups. It gets me all distraught. Queen of Cups, when she's in reverse, Queen of Cups. When we're out of balance. How do I want to put this, Cancer? With the Queen of Cups in reverse, when she's in reverse, it's that there's something that has really caught her off guard. You know what I mean? Because the Queen of Cups is a type that she learns from all of her experiences, good and bads. She's replicating the good ones, keeping that consistency going, and then she's learning from the bad ones as well, getting wisdom from that, so she can strengthen, so that she can make her wins just that much more bigger. And with her being in reverse, Cancer, sit with that. Sit with yourself. Figure out what has got you hung up right now. What is it that what is it? Is a mentality thing? Is it a motivation thing? Get eyes on this thing, because it's going to be one of those things where we're going to be all out of whack, and we're not going to feel good here. We're going to get lost in our emotions as opposed to working with them. You know what I mean? They're not meant to. When I think about the energies too, maybe this is something like maybe I need to be a little more mindful. I'm not sure if this is something I'm missing, but when we're working with the energies, it's not about control, Cancer. If we focus on controlling the energies and controlling our emotions, they're just going to control you, because that's the relationship that we're working with right now. But if we're working with the energies, if we're Queen of Cupsing like that, then the energies are going to work with you here. It's Two of Coins. It's that ebb and flow. That balance, that justice card. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. I feel like I got all the nuggets that I can. So, if you like this thing, give it a good old thumbs up. And if you know someone who's going through this stuff here, because I get this. It's you get in the way of you operate in a certain way for so long. It can be hard to kind of shake things up a little bit. But that saying, old dog, can't teach an old dog new tricks. Of course you can. If you keep telling that dog that you can't, then of course that dog's not going to do anything. It's just going to stay there and be old. But if you tell it's like, hey, come on, buddy, you can do this thing. It's going to get that energy. It's going to have that support. It's going to feel that motivation, that fire. So, oh, I'm getting back into your reading. I don't even know how I got back on that. Cancer, for sharing. Okay, subscribe, hit that bell button. You'll get notified when I release videos each week. I tell you, I've been getting caught up in these readings. These have been some beefy ones. And then, lastly, I already talked about the Chariot and Friends, so I won't go into that too much. It's for Cancer. I do videos Monday through Friday, and all that housekeeping is in the description box below. But let's get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here. Cancer, I love it. I do. Because it's like, what do you want your world to look like? That's what the world is. This is the finish line here. This is the last stop on the major arcana train. So imagine what you want your world to look like. Paint this picture. What does Cancer's world look like here? What's going to make you, what's going to get you fulfilled? What's going to make you happy? What's going to make you feel like you're stable? What can we, let's get you creating, let's get you manifesting, let's work with this energy, make the, and you know what, Cancer, too, maybe this is something like, with whatever your goal is, maybe it's about visualization. Maybe for some of us, maybe that idea of just like kind of keeping it in your head may be a little too abstract. Bring it down to earth here. I gotta do that, and ain't no shame in that. You gotta work with your energies how you work. You see how scatterbrained I can be sometimes. I write stuff down because I can sit there and focus on the fact that that I can be like that, or I can improve this thing. You know what I mean? And that's what you can do, Cancer. You can visualize and paint your picture however you want. It's just be present with yourself. Figure it out what it is that you want. What'll make you happy. What's going to raise your vibration to the moon, and then go out there, paint that picture, and take action, because you got some good stuff here, Cancer. I mean, Major Arcana City. But literally every time we do this check-ins, you got the universe is its higher self is behind you here. I feel like we're really close. There's signals being put out there. So just kind of keep an eye on that, Cancer. I'll go ahead and leave that there, okay? So you stay safe out there, and Cancer, you raise that vibration to the roof, and I will catch you on the next one later.